Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So Cathie Wood, the extremely well-known fund manager and ETF manager, has just announced that she has purchased an extra 5.6 million Palantir shares. Now, she's done that across a range of her 6 ETFs, but 2.3 million of the 5.6 million was purchased in the ARK Innovation ETF, her flagship one. Now, she spent the shares are worth 139 million based on Thursday's closing price. We don't know exactly when she bought in, but if she had bought on Wednesday, the shares would have cost about 14 million less for those positions. So obviously we know Palantir had some great earnings, and we reported that in the other video. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. And Palantir are on an extremely strong trajectory to achieving its objectives. Now, we know that when the market was tanking in March, Cathie Wood bought 2.6 million Palantir shares as it was going down. And this is an important lesson for us all, and this is why I wanted to make this video. I was buying Palantir at that time as well, and it was easy to because it was in the red, it was going down. We know it's extremely undervalued. And now that the earnings have gone up and the share's 15% up, Cathie Wood is still willing, like we said, the day after when she could have got it for 14 million less, she's still willing to put her money where her mouth is and purchase because she's in this for the long run. And I think that's the view we all need to have. The few percent here and there that we're going to argue for, which may prevent us from actually taking a position, is what we're going to regret 5 to 10 years down the line when Palantir becomes this huge thing. And then we're like, oh, I was messing around because it was already 3% up and I didn't want to purchase at 3% up. And I think that's what Cathie Wood does extremely well. It can be easy to buy in on the way down and average down as the price keeps falling and you keep loading up. But when you've got a real conviction in the stock and the market starts to realize it and it starts to ticking up, you should be comfortable averaging up as well. And that's why a lot of people use the dollar cost averaging strategy, because regardless of if the stock is up or down, if you have conviction, you buy. And the law of averages will suggest you'll get it at a sensible price and you'll see that appreciation as the stock starts to grow. So definitely a lesson we want to take here. I mean, Cathie Wood did this with Tesla. Even, she bought during the dips and she bought even as it started to rise. She kept accumulating her position. And I think that's what we all need to do. We need to be comfortable to average down when the share price is going down and average up on our high conviction plays as they're going up as well, okay? Just to build that position, because there's nothing worse than building a small position at a good share price, a cost basis, and then being scared and falling in love with that cost basis, right? We need to build a decent position so that when we do get that growth, it's on a decent amount of position. That's really important. And look, Palantir is not going anywhere. Then we know the next decade is full of data requirements and challenges. I've worked in a corporation. I understand how poorly corporations are utilizing data and how they know that it should be their focus and they should do better with it. They just don't have the ability or the infrastructure or the technology to be able to make use of all the data in their business. I'm talking from retail to pharmaceuticals to gaming companies to anything else you can think of. They're sitting on vast amount of data, and the battlefield for businesses going forward, and not just businesses, by the way, even governments. Before you had your government spending on defense budgets, it would be, the armory you had, it would be the personnel, it would be your military strength, and, do we have a battleship? Do we have aircraft? Now it's about data, it's about intelligence, it's about cyber as well. And that's why these platforms are really interesting. We know the Internet of Things and connected devices is growing and proliferating at a tremendous rate. And the next 10 years is only going to see that tenfold as the prices of sensors and all these products are going to come down. All of our products will have sensors built into them, from our kettle to our fridge to our microphones and lights and anything else. They're all going to have really cheap sensors in them. And then we can move down the connected devices route. And once everything is connected, we're going to be spinning off more data than you can imagine, okay? More data than you can imagine on a daily basis compared to what we're producing in years currently. We'll be spinning off in days. And that's when you need technology like Palantir's and their Foundry platform to be able to take that data and turn it into meaningful insights for businesses. And that's why my high conviction for Palantir sits, because I've worked in corporates. I know they're not making use of the data they have. And if a platform like Palantir can come into this commercial space and take that data, and give them insights, that's going to be invaluable for businesses and therefore valuable for Palantir. Now, the other great thing around Palantir is how they're able to do their land and expand model. We've seen that they've had successful growth with the companies they're working with, but they've proven that when they start working with a government or a commercial company, the average revenue per user starts going up. They can increase the lifetime value of that client because as and when they prove that their software is working, the company then doesn't say, "Oh, that's all we want. We want more. We want more. Oh, Palantir, can you do this for us? Can you figure this out for us?" And that's where Palantir can start increasing the size of their contracts. So very, very early on, it's about them going and landing and expanding in all these different places. And then they can go create that depth of increase in their value per each of these clients. Really exciting. The earnings, remember, we went through the earnings. Please do go check that out because we were looking at that diversification. I did mention how important it is that over the next few quarters, we start to see that customer penetration start to fall. We see less reliance on geographical regions such as the US. We start seeing more in the rest of the world category. And also, we want to see more in the commercial versus the government. Nothing wrong with their revenue coming from government, but we need to see the seed start to be sown that they're able to land and expand in these corporates. So there you go, guys. A quick update on Palantir. Cathie Wood's buying, and we know she's got a great track record. Doesn't mean we should just FOMO in and do the same. I didn't buy when it was 15% up after the shares like she did. I'm happier to take more of a position, but I think it was an important lesson to learn that don't be scared to average up. I know I've made this mistake a lot, and I'm conscious of the cost basis. Oh, I want to protect my cost basis. Let's try our best to not be that person. Let's try to improve, and once we have good, strong conviction in the company, we should be comfortable buying on the way up as well. Okay, but not on massive booms like 15% up, but buying on the way up if it's a high conviction and it's trending the way we want it to trend. So there you have it, guys. An update on Palantir. Cathie Wood buying another 5.6 million shares. That's $139 million. We'll see you in the next one.